Fast. He's a proven loser. He cost us the House in 18. He cost us the White House in 20. He cost us the Senate again and again. And I think we all know that. And I think we're moving past Trump. I really think that's the case. I can't imagine him getting the nomination, frankly. And I don't mean this because I don't want him to get the nomination. I just don't think he will as an analytical point.
Well, that was former Speaker of the House Paul Ryan speaking with CNN yesterday when asked about former President Donald Trump's influence on the Republican Party. One member of the party Trump does seem to have influence over is House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who yesterday said he is open to the possibility of clearing one or both of former President Donald Trump's impeachment charges. Here's what he said when asked about it yesterday.
When you find that the final information that the Russia document was all a lie, when you watch what went through, I'd understand why members would want to bring that forward. But I understand why individuals want to do it, and we'd look at it.
Those comments came almost 2 years to the day that McCarthy placed responsibility on then President Trump for the rioters who stormed the Capitol.
The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding. These facts require immediate action by President Trump. Accept his share of responsibility, quell the brewing unrest, and ensure President-elect Biden is able to successfully begin his term.
Trump was first impeached in 2019 after he was recorded on a phone call threatening to withhold military aid to Ukraine unless it investigated Joe Biden, who was then a political rival, a potential political rival. He was impeached again in 2021 on charges of inciting the riots on January 6th. He was acquitted both times by Republicans in the Senate. Jen, blatant hypocrisy at this point, especially from Kevin McCarthy, is boring because he does it all the time. But it does lead to the question, Donald Trump, as Paul Ryan pointed out, as Joe points out on the show so many times every day, Trump has lost for them time and time and time and time again. He is a proven loser, as Paul Ryan said. So what hold would he have on Kevin McCarthy to make the effort to agree with going through the process of expunging his impeachment charges?
When you raised a question in the opening, I did have to think that it is. The base of there is a, not small, but not a majority of the base of the Republican Party that is very attached to Trump, that likes everything that Kevin McCarthy is doing. That is not it may not be a majority of the party. It is certainly not a majority of Americans. It's not the way you saw them do this first week. Repeal funding for repeal funding for IRS enforcement to catch up on tax cheats, more restrictions on abortion, this forming of this weaponization of the federal government committee, saying that you're going to try to undo the impeachment of Trump. By the way, Kevin McCarthy, who's often not great on details, tying the impeachment, Trump's first impeachment to Russia. That's not what it was about, as you talked about. It was not about the 2016 campaign. It was about what he did as president of the United States. All of these things are not popular with the American public. They are popular with some measure of the Republican base. And, I don't know what's up with Kevin McCarthy and Donald Trump and, what their relationship is about. And I think Paul Ryan may be right that, obviously, it's time for the Republican Party to move on. Maybe the Republicans are ready to do that writ large in the country, but not in that House chamber, because the Republican members that he's indebted to that got him the speakership, this is their agenda. It is what they want him to do. It adheres to what Trump wants as well, but why he's so caught in this is because it's what the members of Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, that crowd that put him over the top, that got him this job.
And Gene Robinson, Jen's right, of course, that this Congress has not moved on objectively. In fact, it's starting its new House with all these investigations in defense of Donald Trump for retribution for the way they think Donald Trump has been treated. But going through Paul Ryan's statement there, he's, of course, out of office and liberated to say things like Donald Trump is fading fast. That's true. He's a loser. He cost us the House in 18, the White House in 20. He's cost us the Senate again and again. These are the words of Paul Ryan, all true. But then he says, I think we're moving on, and I can't imagine him getting the nomination. I think most of us can still imagine Donald Trump getting the nomination to be the Republican nominee. What do you make? How do you assess Paul Ryan's view of this?
Well, look, I can imagine him getting the nomination. I mean, so I think Paul Ryan is wrong on that. I think he's being overly optimistic about the extent to which the Republican Party base, at least, has moved on from Donald Trump. I don't really see evidence that it has, and I certainly see no evidence that that the party has reached a point that it would inevitably have to reach, which is just to say no, we're done with you. Some action, some statement, some moment when it does move on from Trump. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen anything like that. And as a matter of fact, the Matt Gaetzes and Marjorie Taylor Greenes and Lauren Boeberts of the world are not just feeling more empowered, but in fact more empowered now. It's the MAGA base of the party that put Kevin McCarthy over the top, that he had to pledge his firstborn to in order to become Speaker, and that is calling at least a lot of the shots. And whatever Kevin McCarthy in his heart of hearts would want to do, assuming he has a heart of hearts, is almost irrelevant. He's got to do what his members want. And so what his members want right now is really Trumpy.